And what is going on, NPL people? It's your boy Jar back with week number 2 for NPL Minors. We are going up against our boy Carney Hobo. He's actually the creator of the Battle Area server, so he's a very cool guy, very talented guy. Last week he took down Cloud, we took down Aster, so we got two 1-0 teams battling it out here. And I'm feeling pretty confident, but at the same time, I'm not digging my team matchup versus Carney. I think I've put together the best team I can, but I'll just show you guys real quick. Let's hop over to my notepad. First of all, Landorus T with a Z Crystal absolutely demolishes me. A Flame Orb Milotic cannot take on Z Fly Landorus, especially if it's SD as well. I've seen Rock Polish a lot from my mock, so I imagine that's what will come. Raikou is a gigantic issue for my team. Flygon can't really stop it. It Volt Switches around the rest of my team. It's one of the few electric types that can hit Roserade super effectively with a coverage move, so it can still run HP Ice. Breloom absolutely destroys me. That thing can actually 3-hit KO or 2-hit KO a Necrozma. That's max because it's a fucking Breloom. And that thing is just a monster. Empoleon, Uxie, those are just bulk that are not too hard for my team to break, but they could be annoying. Pangoro could be an issue. I'm not really expecting the Pangoro to come because I do have the Comfey. I brought it last week. It was a gigantic threat to my boy Aster, so I think Carney might not bring it. Snorlax, I think definitely will come. That thing walls my Heatran, it walls my Thundurus, it walls my Roserade, it walls my Hydreigon. It is a big problem for my team. Mega B absolutely just destroys me if you look at my team. Toxapex, I think I can deal with relatively well, and then he has the Gothitelle, which is Shadow Tag. I tried not to let that influence my prep too much because I didn't see it coming really for anything. The only thing I saw coming potentially was a Scarf variant to maybe trap Roserade, but yeah, I didn't think that the Gothitelle was going to be coming this week. So let's just jump into the team builder. So the first thing you might have noticed, Carney has 0 fire types on his entire team. So I thought Will-O-Wisp Heatran was the way to go with Magma Storm, Stealth Rock, and Earth Power. This thing can actually hit his team really hard while taking it on the Beedrill as best I can. It can take U-turns, it can take a drill run. This thing can, with the 52 defense bold, take a Adamant or just a Landorus's Earthquake straight up. I actually was running no defense Shuka. I was like, oh, it just died because, yeah, Heatran just dies through Shuka to Landorus's Earthquake. So that was surprising to me. But yeah, I really wanted rocks for this team because wearing down the bulky stuff he has is just going to be really, really nice for me. But yeah, this Heatran was pretty straightforward. It's got a lot of speed on it to make sure I outspeed certain threats. I think this is outspeeding an Adamant Breloom. So if I need to and I can catch him on an over prediction, I can hit him with a Magma Storm, OHKO him clean. And yeah, so Heatran's pretty straightforward this week. Next up, you got Choice Scarf Hydreigon. This set, pretty much no creativity. You got 200 speed, 310. That's looks like it's outspeeding the Landorus. Draco, Dark Pulse, Superpower U-turn. Obviously, Superpower is for the Snorlax. Dark Pulse Draco actually hits the rest of his team relatively hard. U-turn to keep my momentum up because Mega Medicham actually does have a decent matchup besides the Uxie. And if I can get rid of Uxie spamming high jump kick, that's the game, you'll see that in a bit. But if I can get rid of the Uxie spamming high jump kick, won't be too bad. But yeah, that's pretty much straightforward on the Hydreigon set. Necrozma is a little bit interesting, so I bounced a few ideas back from this Necrozma back and forth. I ended on Rock Polish, Calm Mind, Moonlight, Stored Power, and I'll tell you why. Originally I was Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Moonlight, and Stored Power. I changed it to Rock Polish because I had a plan, I had a realization. In my mocks I just kept on losing to things like Landorus. My Medicham, even with Double Edge, couldn't break Uxie. I kept trying to get through his team with my Medicham and then try and bulky setup with my Necrozma, and I would get Toxic or something. So I came to the realization, alright, let's throw Calm Mind on there and Rock Polish. And then I'll get my Spidef boost from my Calm Mind, and I'll get my defense boost from my Medicham. That's right. So we're running a bulk up substitute baton pass high jump kick set with looks like enough speed again for Landorus. Perfect. So what the plan is, if we can wear his team down late game, bulk up with the Medicham, sub up, baton pass both to the Necrozma for a Calm Mind, Rock Polish, Stored Power sweep. We should have a total of 5 stats boosted if this all goes to plan, and we will have a +1 special attack. So these two are kind of one Pokemon that I've kind of tried to turn into an endgame. But like I said, Carney's team is really, really well built. He has the Pangoro, so if it does come, my Necrozma's going to have a lot tougher time sweeping. But if we can get rid of it or stop it in any way, then we do have a chance to sweep with this Necrozma Medicham combination. High jump kick is just there because it hits his team relatively hard. It actually does a good amount to Landorus and Uxie still, so I just kept it on there as my one attack in case I need to fire something off. Next up we got our boy Thundurus. This is an interesting Thundurus set, just Charty Berry, 252 special attack, modest. Hidden Power Ice, Thunder Wave, Thunderbolt, Knockoff. So the thing about Carney's team, like I said, a lot of his mons have pretty good matchups. Raikou, Breloom, so getting rid of any items they have is going to benefit me in the long run. Also, throwing off Thunder Waves for things that are fast and still really good, such as the Breloom would be nice to Thunder Wave just for hacks. Mega B was the big one, I think. Yeah, Mega B seems like it was the big one. And then HPS, obviously, for Landorus is the only thing that really takes the Thunderbolt. So, yeah, Thundurus has a chance. It's more just here for support and utility. Again, Hydreigon and Necrozma are kind of the offensive options this game. Next up, you got a Roserade. This is a defensive Roserade with Sludge Bomb, Spikes, Giga Drain, Synthesis. I'm trying to get a little Spike stack going with my Heatran. I pack in the Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain. That coverage hits his team relatively well. And this is kind of my Breloom check. This outspeeds Jolly Breloom at 265, so I can always outspeed it and get a Synthesis up. If he is Rock Tomb, that could be problematic, but he probably won't Oko me even if he's Life Orbed. It's a good roll in my favor. And I can Synthesis up. And with my Black Sludge, I should be beating that 1v1, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, this was going to be a tough matchup, guys. So I had to find a way to I guess get my Necrozma or Hydreigon in a position to sweep, or even my Thundurus. My Thundurus, like I said, if it can spam T-Bolt, could be in a really good position. But yeah, that's it for the Team Builder, boys. Let's just hop right over to the battle. And here we are at the battle. You might have seen it a little bit earlier, but he decided to obviously bring the Uxie, bring the Beedrill, bring the Empoleon, Snorlax, Pangoro, and the Landorus. So big things off the bat that were good news for me. There was no Raikou or Breloom, so I might have over-prepped for those a little bit, but I am still definitely not happy. I'm still very happy to not see them on the field. They were huge threats to me. So, but other problems, the Pangoro's here, which means that Necrozma's going to have a really tough time. The Uxie's here, obviously, so my Medicham, his high jump kick is walled. Mega B, if I lose my Shuka on my Heatran, I mean, look at my team, it just straight 6-0s me. And then I imagine that is a Z-Rock Polished Landorus, which again, just probably 6-0s me. So, let's just go ahead and get it. I'm going to lead with my Heatran because it's my best lead against the Beedrill. If he wants to stay in, I will always click Will-O-Wisp. Like I said, no fire type, and if I cripple the Beedrill, then it will not be a danger to sweep me anymore. So he decides to lead with the Pangoro. I lead off with my Heatran, so we get that one decently right. I can still fire off a Will-O-Wisp here because like even a Superpower or a Earthquake will not do anything to me after he is burned. He's actually going to fire off an Earthquake and pop my Shuka Berry, which is problematic for me because Beedrill's become a little bit more of a threat, so I might have to speed my plan up a bit. So he's burned. I don't want to take another Earthquake. The next one could do like 40. I'm going to switch right out into my Roserade. No Breloom. I'm defensive. I know I can take these hits extremely well. And expecting him to fear the Dazzling Gleam, I'm just going to throw up a Spike here as the Snorlax is going to be the switch in. And yeah, just getting these hazards up is going to help me wear down everything on the ground, so not Uxie and Landorus. But here I'm going to go hard on my Megacham, fearing the Curse Lax, as that's exactly what he's going to go for. And I can just Mega Evolve up, and I think I'm just going to Baton Pass right here, trying to keep momentum in my favor. No, I'm going to sub. I'm going to sub Baton Pass because, you know, I want to get something in for free. And I choose to get my Thundurus in over my Hydreigon because he still does have the Snorlax, and my Thundurus actually is a pretty big offensive threat to his team if you look at it. So I'm just going to click Thunderbolt here. I have no reason to click anything else because I'm expecting a Z Landorus without a doubt. So I have to click Knockoff because I wanted to potentially get rid of the Snorlax's item, but I'm going to get rid of the Pangoro's Assault Vest, which actually works out better for me, making this Thunderbolt a easy 2-hit KO. He's going to click Knockoff, get rid of my Charty Berry. That's no big deal. If it was Z Rockium Z, I think it would have still killed, but I'm just going to fire off an HP Ice for fucking giggles, I guess, as he goes out into his Snorlax here. My play again is just to click Knockoff because I think he's going to attack this time after I got him with the last 50-50, and I'm exactly right. Unfortunately for me, this does not kill me. I was really hoping it would, so I get the hard switch out into Medicham, but now I'm fearing the potential for a Curse Lax to start setting up now, so I'm going to go hard out into Medicham now. As Carney makes a great play, attacks again, and does a lot to my Medicham, so I'm actually out of, range, sub-range, but I can still bulk up right here, and I can still pass this into my Necrozma. So now if I can get this defense boost, let's go ahead and give it a shot. The Pangoro was down. That was kind of the one thing I had to do before I could try this Necrozma sweep. There was really no point in delaying it, because I'm either going to win or I'm not going to win. I have recovery, I have the setup, and look at that, +1 max takes absolutely 0. So I decide first of all that setting up I believe the Rock Polish first is best in case he decides to go hard into his Mega Beedrill, which he does not. He decides to go into he's Empoleon. So I expect this thing to be special, so I'm going to fire off a Calm Mind. He's going to Agility up, and I think I have enough stat boost here to put in a little bit of work. So he's going to Scald. He does about 26%, gets the burn on the first try. It's no big deal. My leftovers will cancel that out, and look at that damage. That is a solid amount of damage, 47.6%. Now, instead of here, guys, firing off a I could have just fired off another stored power, 3-hit KO'd him, but I had to think, you know, I'm gaining boosts every time I go for something with stored power, and just in case he's Scarf Landorus, or in case he's like, I don't know, a Beedrill that can somehow outspeed my Necrozma, click Rock Polish again, I'll kill him with the next stored power, and then I'll for sure outspeed everything, so we get even more stat boosts. And we have a 47% Necrozma to work with here. And remember, we do have the Moonlight on this set, so we can heal up on the likes of Uxie if we need to. And it's looking decent for us. He goes into the Snorlax. I'm kind of scared what this thing can do to us, so I'm just going to fire off a stored power. I do 50 to a Snorlax, which is actually insane. His return does absolutely nothing. I mean, guys, this is a max +1 Necrozma. He cannot break this thing with physical attackers. It's just not going to happen. And with this amount of boosts, I'm pretty sure I'm going to Oko the Landorus and the Beedrill, so his only real play here is to go out into the Uxie, but he decides to go into Landorus. Maybe he could have pivoted between this Intimidate a few times and gotten my stats lowered a bit, but I'm just going to clean Oko that thing with a stored power. If he tried to switch into Uxie, that was just a free Moonlight for me, so I understand why he tried to stay in there. Here I'm going to go for a stored power, and I'm going to 3-hit KO this Uxie relatively easily. As you can see, U-turn is doing 8%, so that's not too big a deal. The Beedrill is going to come out, and I can just fire off stored powers, guys. That's the only thing I have to do. I cannot Moonlight up on this Beedrill. I could potentially Moonlight up on the Uxie, but after doing the math in my head, he would need to U-turn on me 3 more times, and I only need 2 more stored powers to kill him, so it's just wasting time for me to continue to Moonlight up on that thing. So I'm just going to keep firing off stored powers. I don't want to waste anyone's time with this. You guys can already tell where this is going. Necrozma is about to pick up all the kills except one, which goes to Thundy. Or I think it goes to no, it goes to Thundy. So Thundy picks up a kill. Necrozma is going to finish off this Uxie. As you can see, the Psychic does the same damage as the super effective U-turn. Beautiful Necrozma. Great job. Stored power. GG to my man Carney Hobo. Now, the reason I had to do this Necrozma strategy was because this matchup was just extremely tough for me, and I couldn't find a way to make my Medicham work, guys, and that's kind of the lesson I took away from this, is if just because your Mon, like Medicham, can't do what it's designed to do, in this case it would be spam physical attacks, I couldn't do that with Medicham this game. I had to find a different job for it, and so I decided to use it to support my Necrozma sweep, and you've seen it, my Necrozma would probably be dead if it wasn't for that defense boost it got. Taking those hits was extremely important. And so passing with the Medicham, I may have played it a little bad by going for it too early, but the Necrozma was able to just put in so much work. Heatran did a great job. Thundy actually put in a lot of work. That knockoff was actually pretty helpful. Medicham passed perfectly, and I mean, you just kind of saw the team synergizing pretty well. Everything was doing its job, and we were able to beat Carney before his Landorus or his Beedrill was actually a gigantic threat to us, because they could have destroyed me. Carney's prep wasn't bad, he just wasn't ready for this specific Necrozma set, and with the Pangoro going down, there was nothing he could actually do about it. Like, he could have easily swept me with Beedrill. I was talking to him after the game, and he was right. Beedrill straight up 6-0'd me if he could get it in. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this battle. It was a very good one. Make sure you go check out all the NPL coaches and majors, minors, all that, and my friend Carney here. And if you use the battle area server for your league, you gotta thank this man. He does it all. He's the creator of it. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week. Your Chicago Kyurem-Blackhawks are currently 2-0 with a +10 differential, which should put us at the top of the league at this point. We're actually performing really well this season, which I'm glad to see. But until next time, boys, I'm gonna sign off. Later.